Multicultural women only. Kanye West recently put out a casting call asking for just that. Multicultural women only. And just like everything Kanye does or says, it got the internet in an uproar. Now, I usually don't speak on things like this, but this one really annoyed me because there's just so many things wrong with the anger. So the overall consensus is that when Kanye said multicultural, what he actually meant was light skin with curly hair, judging off of most of the tweets I saw on Twitter. And I even came across a picture of a lady. She was protesting the line for the casting call with a sign that said basically that, followed by words on her body that read, "They want black features, not black girls." Let's touch on that first. Let's start by looking at the definition of the word multicultural. Of relating to or representing several different cultures or cultural elements. So for someone to assume that he was simply talking about light-skinned, curly-haired women, or as the lady alluded to with her body art, half black women who benefit from black features but aren't exactly black girls, that really bugs me because like we live on this giant planet filled with different ethnicities, different cultures, and they're in a place like New York City where so many different cultures come and live and blend. How do you then diminish the term multicultural into just being one type? So if you take all of that into consideration, the fact that we as a people tend to sometimes think that what we know is all that exists really baffles me. But since we're assuming things, I'm gonna go out on a limb and I'm gonna assume something too. I'm gonna assume that not all of you are that ignorant. I'm gonna assume that maybe you're mad at the exclusivity of the casting call. Maybe your problem is the word only. Why isn't it open to everybody? Because I get it, for a model who happens to be just one ethnicity, that's probably disheartening. You're disqualified before you even try, and you probably feel like you should be at least given the chance. You never know. But here's the thing, nobody has to give you that chance. What you gotta understand is this is one man's vision, and it doesn't have to include everybody. I've always said everything isn't for everybody every time. That's just life. So whether he's going for a certain look or trying to make a statement about race relations, whatever the reason is, it's his reason, and he's entitled to that. You gotta remember, it's not World Season 4, it's YEEZY Season 4. He can do what he wants. Now I'm gonna assume something again. I'm gonna assume that most of the people that were mad probably don't live in a world where they see casting calls a lot. They got to see this one because it's Kanye West and it was broadcasted everywhere. But if you live in a world of acting or modeling or anything where you have to answer casting calls, you probably understand that that's pretty standard. That's what casting calls are for. They seek a specific type of person. And sometimes they get really specific. I remember about a year or so ago, I was asked to help do casting for a music video for Diplo. They needed girls. So I'm like, cool. I send in a list of all these beautiful women, like they're like some headshots or something like that. They replied, they're like, oh, okay, that's cool, but we forgot to say we need Asian women only. So I'm like, all right, I got that too. So I went into my Rolodex, I got them some beautiful Asian women who were all down to do it. I sent in the pictures, they're like, yeah, they look great. One last thing, they're all over 25, right? First of all, that's weird, but that's what they wanted. None of the girls were over 25. I think the oldest was like 22 or something like that. And you know what happened? They didn't use any of the girls. They had specific wants for this specific video / commercial, whatever it was. And that's just how it goes. It's not a rare thing to only want a certain type. At the end of the day, I just feel like people jumped the gun getting mad at this one. I mean, you never know what was gonna happen. Season 5, he could have said black women only. Season 6, he could have said Indian women only. And at the end of his career, everybody could have been included. You never know. But let's look at what's really going on here. With all the actual racial injustice going on, doesn't it seem a little silly to be so worried about who Kanye West chooses to put his overpriced clothes on? But I realize we live in a time where everybody has a platform. Everybody has social networks. Everybody has a camera phone. Everybody has the ability to post what they feel out to the public. And that's great. It's great that a lot of people are using that platform. But my only advice to everybody out there is choose your battles wisely. Because this one is silly. I'm out. Peace.
Well, you know what, YouTube? I'm not playing your little game. I'm gonna get raunchier. I'm gonna get sexier. I'm gonna even get a little violent. And I don't care how much money you take from me. Ooh, wait a minute. That didn't even feel right coming out of my mouth. Yes, I do. I care so much. Scratch all that I just said.